Oh, hi. I didn't realize I was filming. What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today, wow, do I have a lot of makeup that I could apply to my face. There's so much new stuff that I've just been kind of buying without a real plan, assuming that a plan was going to materialize as I got these things in my hands, and I literally don't even know exactly like what I'm going to put on my face today. I know a few things. One, yes, I have this. This is not going to be the formal review. I'm gonna do one of those, like, you know, a dedicated video to the new Kosas foundation so that people know where to find it. But if you always watch my videos, then this will be a deep cut where you kind of get the insider knowledge ahead of time. I have been using this for a couple of days. I'm not quite ready to give my final thoughts on it, but you'll get to see it in action. Hear my preliminary thoughts on it. This is a complete first impression, y'all. We are in a season of a lot of skin tints, but we are also in a season of like a lot of really good concealers coming out. And this is the new LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. You will see my first impressions on this today because I have been trying so many other ones that honestly, I'm having trouble not spoiling because I'm saving them for another video, but like, I kind of feel like I just need to tell you. Anyway, I also I can't decide. I've got a lot of blushes. I am working a little bit on a video that's just RuPaul's Drag Race drag queen owned brands. And I bought a bunch of stuff from Kimchi CHIC, and this is just the cutest stuff. I also got some stuff from Miss Fame. I got some stuff from Trixie. I'm not sure what's going to make it onto my face today, depending on how everything else goes. I also, and I'm not sure I'm gonna do this today, but Ingrid was showing me, or she was showing the internet, that if you take something like the Rare Beauty blush that is notoriously high pigment and you mix it with like the In Beauty face glaze or something like that, a lightweight mixer, it'll make it a lot easier to use, a lot easier to diffuse on the skin. Might do that, we shall see. I also picked up the new Tom Ford Quad. There are a few of these. This is the one that was in stock, but also it's the one that I wanted, and it is the Eye Color Quad Creme. And I'm not really sure why they call it that. It's not cream. I feel like I am always in the dark on luxury beauty releases and their names. Like, people are always like, oh my gosh, are you gonna try this, this, and this? Or like, did you know that like when the TF is impressed in the top of the shadows, that means they're wet to dry? Like, where does this information live? Because it's not on Sephora, at least not that I've seen. Gonna be showing you guys that probably. And then BareMinerals came out with a new mascara. It's the Maximist mascara, and they also came out with a liquid eyeliner, which I have absolutely no intention of using. I also got a new liquid eyeliner from Freck. Again, absolutely no intention of using, nothing to do with the brands, everything to do with the fact that I don't like how liquid eyeliner looks on me, and so I have never really bothered to practice getting good at it, and I'm horrible at it, and I still don't like the outcome even when it goes well. So yeah, I'm gonna move you guys in, and we're going to just chit chat. I did post a very last minute prompt on my Instagram stories, like, hey guys, ask me literally anything. And so we'll see what comes of that. You guys always come through in the clutch. And I hope that this ends up being a face of makeup that even comes close to how much I love this dress. So let's go ahead and jump in. Yeah, so this dress is what I was alluding to in my recent favorites, where I shared a bunch of my new fashion finds at the end. It was like a little mini fashion haul. And I said Carolina K is one of my favorite brands right now, and that there was still a dress on her website that I was waiting to see if it was gonna come back in stock. Her stuff sells out really quickly sometimes. And this was that dress. And so as soon as it came in stock, I bought it. And that's also to help answer the question that I'm sure a lot of people are curious about. Like, anytime you kind of only see this much of something and there's like a pattern, people are always like, what is that shirt? And it's a dress. It's almost always a dress, to be honest. I don't know, I've gotten into dresses recently. Okay, so I had the Kosas, they sent this to me, the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, Broad Spectrum SPF 25. I have it in 3 shades. They sent Light Cool 150, they sent Very Light Neutral 100. Their complexion line is kind of known for skewing slightly yellow. So someone like me who typically wears something a little bit more golden will probably go neutral to cool. So the one that ended up working for me is Very Light Cool 120, Very Light with pink undertones. And it is actually a pretty darn good match. Also, I have this like really chapped spot on my lip. Meow. So we're gonna start in on this. They also sent this adorable little sponge, which I have used to the point that it looks a little bit gnarly right now, but like, it looks like a little lemon. I don't know, I like it a lot. This, meow, is she. So yeah, the other two, like I can get away with wearing them, but that deeper one is a little bit too noticeable. Leaves like a line of demarcation. Also, I'm filming a little bit later in the day than I normally do, which is another reason that I'm not doing like a full review on this foundation, because it's just gonna be a little bit harder to see what's going on because of all the natural light. Sometimes these things are, I mean, often these things are hard to control, but in the mornings, it's easier for me to show you guys things because there's just less light in the room. I guess I could turn my ISO down. What would that do? Ah, that's a little bit better. There we go. So you can see it's not like a perfect match to my skin between my freckles. We always talk about that. Like, what are you really matching when you have freckles? Are you matching the skin between the freckles, or are you matching kind of the overall, if you were to like squint your eyes, the general color that happens as a combination of both? And this is kind of that combination of both vibe. The thing that I would compare this to, because I did look at the ingredient list and I don't think, at least at the examination that I gave it, that there are any silicones in this, I would very closely compare this to the new NARS. And when I wore them side by side, this did have a little bit more buildability. And that was just that day that I wore it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not necessarily saying this is like my final thoughts. This is just my thoughts so far on it. And I do slightly prefer the formula to the NARS so far. It was weird. I wore it and it didn't really look that great a couple of hours in, and then it like improved, which is not something that I'm used to. Usually it's like, you put it on, it might not look that great, but like it settles after about an hour and it looks awesome. And for the rest of the day, you're just kind of seeing how it degrades or how much it degrades kind of thing. But this was like, I don't know, it sort of wanted to break up a little bit on me. And then I felt like it was my imagination later. I was like, wait. And also I'm absolutely splitting hairs because it looked great. It wasn't like doing some kind of Pangea thing. In terms of my arbitrary scale of coverage, I would give it a 5. You know, it's about right on par, again, with the NARS, and a little tiny bit more than something like the new Laura Mercier, and quite a lot more than the Rose Ink. I also picked up the new, I obviously can't put more than one foundation on my face right now, but I picked up the new version of the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. I actually got it in a deeper shade to just like see. I got it in Mallorca. It's not really the right color for me, it's a little bit dark, but this new one has niacinamide and allantoin, whatever that is. Still aloe infused for those of you who are sensitive to aloe, but I've always liked this foundation formula. It has thrown up a lot of flags with other people. It's the one foundation, the original formula, where I got the most responses from memory from people being like, this doesn't work for me at all. It doesn't look anything like it does on you when I put it on, like what gives? And that was why I kind of stopped recommending it as much, was because it seemed like it was very, very unique to the individual. but yeah, I don't know. I'm testing that one out too. There are so many foundations out right now. Let's see what you guys said here. How are you doing? Lift Bake Love asks. I'm actually doing great. The last couple weeks were really hard as far as like playing catch up because we all got sick 2 weekends ago. Pause here. I wanna make sure that we can see what's going on. So yeah, this is that LYS. I want to see what she looks like, how quickly she dries down and everything. It's a little bit yellow. It's very low coverage. Look at that. Like, you almost can't even tell I did anything. That's interesting. It was supposed to be full coverage. All right, let's try putting a little bit more on. I would not, at first blanch, call that full coverage. It's brightening and it's extremely lightweight, like very, very, very thin. And I like the color, but I would not say that that is full coverage. which is fine. That's just what it says. It says full coverage. So yeah, we're doing great actually. Simon has come to an age where I'm finally just like so psyched to be around him all the time. I feel like he's not just this sort of loose cannon where it really has everything to do with communication and being able to communicate with him. You know, he's starting to talk, he's starting to understand what, well, he's known what we were saying for a long time, but he's really engaging with what we're saying. He's starting to be able to communicate his needs by talking instead of just like pointing or crying. And he's such, I don't know, for like a almost 17-month-old, I say he's very reasonable because he only is really upset if something is wrong. He's hungry, he's uncomfortable for some reason, he's tired, his teeth hurt or something like that, and I just kind of have, you know, my mother's intuition or whatever about whatever it is. But most of the time, if, you know, if his needs are met, he's just a really happy, curious, sweet kid who loves to laugh. He's so funny, and he's really cuddly. Like, he just really, really likes to like come just sit in my lap and be held, and he's just a dreamboat. And yeah, we're getting our house painted, the inside, starting at the end of the month. When we moved in, everything was, you know, we had a vision for it. Everything in this house, like the bones are gorgeous, but we just didn't really like what the last owners had done with the place in so many ways that I can't even get into right now. But if you were here then, you know, I mean, to just shorten it, like the dad here, he just had this obsession with busting holes in the wall. There's holes in every wall. So it's like, even if we liked the colors on the walls, we couldn't have left them because everything is just like spackled to death. So, you know, by us. Yeah, that's really exciting. Gonna like breathe totally new life into this house and just right in time for spring. So excited. It might just be that like that's enough coverage for today. And I do like the color a lot, but I might go in with like my Kosas or something. I have a lot of, okay, fine, I'll just tell you. I'm doing a video for April Fools where I'm actually buying from brands that I never buy from. And honestly, there are so many options out there that I don't really mind telling you guys some of the stuff that I've been trying for it, because I am like giving genuine reviews of these things. It's not just gonna be some kind of like throwaway video. And two things that I ended up picking up that I said I never would. The Item Beauty by, what's her face? I don't remember her name. This is the Air Hug Concealer. Oh my God, this is so good. And it's huge. And then I also picked up the KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer. I got it in too light of a shade, so I did order another shade. Now it's fine. It's just really, really, really brightening. And I love it too. This is a very Hannah Louise Poston kind of formula because it's outrageously pigmented. It is so concentrated. It's awesome. So I have been loving that. Like, it can, especially in the wrong shade like this is, it can get carried away really quickly because if I kind of put a little too much on, it'll like over brighten my face. But this is like my perfect shade. I got this in shade 110. So like, it's like just absolutely. I honestly think that she, you know, brought in 3 of her favorite concealers or something. It was like, hey, you know, this is what I want this to be like, and probably one of them was Shape Tape or the creamy Shape Tape or something. Like, it's just, it's a very, very creamy, like pretty high coverage concealer that blends so freaking easily. And I also just really like the shade match that I got. So yeah, that's the, what is her name? Sorry, Item Beauty by Addison Rae. That's the one. Okay, now that I've convinced you that I too am a youth. So I did get this Thaler blush. I don't watch enough of the like other content that the drag queens make to like get the inside jokes necessarily. Like, I don't know what the word Thaler means. Is it because Kimchi has a lisp, or am I being incredibly insensitive? I don't know. But is that not the prettiest color? Oh, it's so pretty. Something that I have been really actually enjoying is using the Charlotte Tilbury, not just as a bronzer, but actually as like a contour. Making friends in a new place. How? I like this brush for this. So this is the concealer brush from Beauty Pie, and it is just, it's just great. And I'm getting so much more use out of my Charlotte Tilbury Oyster Pearl for this reason. So I will be honest, I haven't made any friends in my current town. I have made friends only in the city, basically. And it's kind of like, you gotta find one, right? Be a little bit more outgoing than you think, because like, you know, with befriending people, because as adults, we are predisposed to the idea, like the last time we probably like made very close friends, it was because we were in like a work situation with them, or we were in school with them or something. You know, you don't have to try that hard. You're kind of obligated to be around them, and you get a lot of chances to decide whether or not you want to be somebody's friend, and you get the ability to kind of ease into it. In adulthood, there's a lot more planning around it, which can make it feel a lot more awkward, but I just say honesty is the best policy. You know, if you really want to be somebody's friend, there shouldn't be any weird games about it. Again, just kind of being the person who's willing to go a little bit more than halfway. Like, I wouldn't have friendships if other people hadn't done that for me, and I feel like I kind of owe that back to the world in a sense, because otherwise nothing will happen, right? Understand that like other people moving to new places also are trying to make friends, and there are probably get-togethers of certain persuasions. I'll be honest, you know, the people at daycare, most of them don't really like even want to like speak to me, kind of thing. It's not about me, it's just like most of them are just not really interested in making friends at daycare. And I think that, you know, there are just certain things that, you know, I had expectations around where it's like, oh, I'll meet people in this situation. And it's like, maybe I'll meet one at some point, but like not today. I really have just kind of tried to cultivate friendships. Like when I see something sparking, no matter where they are, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how when you find somebody you have something in common with, even if they're on like the other side of the country or the other side of the world, it can still be better than just being alone or feeling lonely, I guess. Being alone is not that bad. Feeling lonely is bad. But also just sometimes you travel to see each other, and you just kind of have to not have the weird, you know, are they gonna think I'm a weirdo thing. It's like, we're all trying to make friends. And if they do think you're a weirdo, then they probably shouldn't be your friend anyway. They sound like they suck. Okay, so that was the Charlotte Tilbury. And again, that's just like a really nice contour moment. Let's do some of this really cute Kimchi blush here. This is matte, so I'm gonna be really careful with it. In fact, what I think I'm gonna do, because I mean, this is drag makeup, right? She does make, this is just kind of a general rule, I think. You know, when they're in boy, you call them he, or whatever their pronoun is, and then when they're in drag, you call them she, right? I think that that's the general, I've asked, and that's what I've been told. Either way, I want to know the pronouns, let me know. But Kimchi does make some really, really beautiful makeup, like full stop, just really pretty stuff. But a lot of it is quite saturated or very bright. And so I want to make sure that we wade in carefully here. I had a brush. Yeah, let's use this. Oh, see, my light is already changing. No. Anyway, so yeah, this is the Well People the Super Powder Brightening Powder. It used to be called the Bio Base Bake Brightener. And I have this in the shade Vacation. Sorry, just Vacation. Vacation / Vacances. Called Vacation. So I think it's supposed to be kind of a bronzer, but I'm using it as like a nice bronzy blush. Very, very pigmented. Glad I picked the Super Powder to go with it. So every time I dip, I'm kind of dipping both. Whoopsies, see, stampy, stampy. Yeah. And that was something I was kind of afraid of with some of the like drag makeup, was just that like it wasn't going to be able to lend itself to the way that I like to apply makeup. But I still think that like that's a unique enough shade that I'm willing to work with it. But it's a little bit stampy, it's a little bit patchy. One of the things though that I was actually really frustrated about are these. These are the, and this is like kind of why I might not end up even doing that video, is just because this was gonna be such, I don't know, like a cornerstone of it. I was very, very excited about these. These are the Miss Fame 27 Rosier's like incandescent, what is this? Incandescent Rose Skin Illuminators. And I got a set of 3, and they were far and away the most expensive of the like drag queen owned stuff. And this is this really, really gorgeous like illuminator set. One's bronzy, one's kind of a little bit blushy, and one's like gold. And I was so excited about these because they have this like really, really gorgeous kind of, you know, illuminated shift to them, but I was really hoping that they were gonna be a very cooperative, like serum type formula, and they just are not. They are very oddly like stiff, and they, not stiff in the tub, but when they actually dry down all the way. And they make my eyes like crinkle, and they really, it's just not a texture that looks pretty on skin. It doesn't look like skin. I was pretty disappointed with that. Those were $88 for the 3 of those, okay? Because that was a little bit on the severe end, I'm just gonna hold off. We're gonna go in on my eyes next. Oh, I also have the new Tower28 lip. This is the Pistachio. So they came out with coconut, almond, oat, and oh no, cashew. Why is there no peanut milk? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Maybe because they're legumes and not nuts, but regardless, this is the new one, Pistachio, and I love this color. They sent me in the PR package an actual carton of pistachio milk, and it is next level delicious. Okay, it was the brand Tash or Taché, I'm not sure, but I realized that that was actually, yeah, that's just reflecting off of my desk. So I'm trying to block that spot, and maybe we can buy some time here. So yes, I got this in the shade 36 Tiger Eye, and it's really, really pretty. I'm just going to swatch all of these for you guys. But yeah, this is not cream. They are very much still powders. I don't know if I'm supposed to wet them or what, but like somebody asked me what I had on my eyes in my this or that video recently, and it was this. I also, sitting next to me on the floor is my new computer, but I don't want to unbox it yet because it's a whole thing, you know? And I just wanted to go ahead and get a video filmed, and then I will get to the unboxing. Oh yeah, and then this, oh my gosh. This is a Sephora brand purple eyeliner, waterproof purple like eyeshadow eyeliner thing, crayon. And I bought this because Ingrid, when I gave her for her birthday, I just knew that she'd be able to wear Tea Rose from Victoria Beckham really well, because it would probably do that same kind of like cool, like mucky purple thing on her, and it does. And she had this in her stash and used it as an eyeliner with it, and I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant with our powers combined. And so I went and bought it, and of course it's not expensive. It's the, you know, the Sephora collection. So maybe I'll use that today too, because it is heckin' pretty. All right. Should we go with that coral shade? Let's go with that coral shade. Let's do that. Because it's like very similar to the blush color, and we will just go for something really tonal here. This is also really similar to, is it called Sunbeam from RMS. I've been using this one a lot too. The other one you have to be a little more careful, or I have to be a little more careful with, because it's a little bit more contrasty against my skin tone. Obviously, you know, things are easier to work with the closer they are to your skin tone. That Sunbeam shade is very, very easy because it just kind of feathers at the edges in a very natural way, because it's just it's a color that's more at home on my skin. Another thing that I got from Kimchi is actually a liquid eyeshadow. And I've only used it a couple of times, but it's very pretty. And again, it is also really, really similar. What did I just do? I might have something on this brush, or did I just dip into the wrong color? I don't know what I did. Maybe I need to clean my brushes. Yeah, I've only used it a couple times, but like it also is very, very close to my skin tone. It's very pretty. This is almost like a blush color. I prefer this quad to either of the other two. I do like that one that you can add water to. I think that that's a lot of fun, but I don't reach for it that often because I'm like, how, you know what I mean? Like, how much do I really like go in and wet my brush like that? All right, I'm gonna go in with this like gold one, but this one is just the most like intuitive. I do appreciate though about Tom Ford, when he does a quad, he's not afraid of putting shades that are of similar values together. Because a lot of times we see a quad and we're like, well, we want one to be really deep and one to be really bright and two in the middle, one to be shimmer, you know what I mean? And it's like, he kind of just, I think all these are the same finish. This one might be it might be more matte than the others, but they're very similar in terms of like being just medium saturation value. That might mean that they're not quite intended for my skin tone predominantly, but at the same time, it just makes for something where I am playing with a lot of tones that cooperate really well together, but I'm not, you know, getting a whole ton of contrast, which it's a look, you know what I mean? It's a nice thing. It's a nice kind of change of pace. And I do think that I ended up with a little, somehow, I think I just mashed my brush in without looking and I got a little bit of the brown on my brush. And so I'm just gonna try to mimic that on the other side. They're not teeny tiny pans, so that was just complete user error. But I do feel like I've already lost the coral of it all. What would your makeup look like if you were going to be a bridesmaid? I think that I would stay in very, very simple tones, like as far as like being really, really close to my skin tone, and also the things that I felt the most comfortable in. But the biggest thing that you want to do is to not overshadow the bride. That's the main thing, you know? You just want to make sure that you are supporting cast. Ooh! It's a very like warm apricot that's like almost orangey peach on my skin, which is wild. Like I'm not actually sure how great that looks on brown eyes, but it's definitely different than anything else that I have. So there's that. Actually, I'll swatch that against that RMS shade just so that we get some reference, because my memory might not be serving, you know? Yeah, okay, so the RMS is much pinker. Look at that. Very, very pretty, but it's not my imagination that that is quite orange on me. So maybe we top with a little bit of that. It would kind of bring everything full circle, wouldn't it? Please bear with my lighting. The sun is going behind clouds and coming back out again. There we go. Ooh, yes. See, I told you I didn't know which way this was gonna go. I love having this like conversation with you guys where, you know what I mean? If you're answering me as much later after I've made the actual decision, but I ask you anyway. I'm already feeling the spring vibes, you know? I'm gonna do the kind of more golden color that I used and go underneath my eyes with that. Just because I feel like that orange is a little bit wacky on its own on me. But the other color in here is like, by contrast, almost like a green gold brown, this one right here. It's a really interesting palette. I also, guys, I couldn't help myself. I could not stop my little fingers from ordering it. I saw that it was on like 50% off on Sephora, and I ordered the Huda Mercury Retrograde palette, the Mercury Retrograde palette. I have had my eye on that thing for so long, and I had convinced myself that there was no way that I was actually gonna get use out of it because it's so many kind of like off the wall colors, but I have gotten a lot more comfortable with using those kinds of things lately, you know, and incorporating them into what I consider to be kind of everyday looks. And so I was like, you know what? Now's the time, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do that eyeliner, but I'm going to answer another question here. My top 3 YouTubers. I should go ahead and say that, you know, obviously I do actually watch all of my favorite, like my friends, my beauty YouTube friends. So like I watch everything that Hannah puts out. I watch everything that Amanda puts out. I watch everything that State of Kate puts out. Like I do genuinely not just enjoy their presence and their vibes, but like I also really, really love their opinions. That said, like outside of the beauty community, my favorites lately have been, number 1 has been Mike's Mike. Mike's Mike is an account that I found and a channel that I found a while ago because he just did this really, really short kind of, you know, jokey video about how he would die for Claire Saffitz from the BA Test Kitchen. You know, a lot has transpired in the BA Test Kitchen since then, but I was like, this guy's hilarious. He is Australian. I think he lives in Perth, and he is one of the fastest talking, quickest witted, funniest people. And he pretty recently, like I found it recently, he did a full lowdown on the Pretty Little Liars, like the entire plot of all of the seasons.
But when she's walking to the police station, she's stopped by Ezra Flops, who says he knows how to get rid of a body because he has a master's degree in American literature. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? I have to leave. I don't know what to say.
And it is one of my favorite things on the internet. As soon as I got done watching it, I just wanted to like start it over and watch it again. Like, he's just so funny. And I agree with literally everything he says in the entire, it just made me feel so seen and heard, because Pretty Little Liars is one of those shows where if you've watched it, you know it's the worst show that's ever been on television. But it's also one of the best shows that's ever been. It's so bad. It's so bad, and he does such a good job of really pinning down what's so far-fetched about it. He's like, you know, we have all this stuff that's like, you know, mysterious and then all of a sudden it just goes into like, you know, space age, or, you know, and then, are we going to be supernatural now or not? You know, and I'm like, he's so right. I think that that's like a lot, he captures a lot of the inconsistencies of the series, and also he does a really, really good job of talking about plot holes and just like how disappointing they are, and you can tell he's watched the series like 800 times. It is so worth watching, and it is like 3 almost 2-hour videos. Like, I watched it over the course of like a week. It is a blast. It's so much fun. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, this is working, but purple on top of apricot, maybe not the best combination, but we're going with it. The next one, and I think he's been kind of experiencing a lot of burnout lately, but I love Curtis Connor. I love, first of all, absolutely no shade whatsoever to his beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous girlfriend, Jenna. I think that they are absolutely lovely together, and I love what they have. He is attractive. I will just say that. And there's something about it where, like, he grew out the mustache and the mullet, and somehow that made him more attractive to me. And like, I just think he's objectively an attractive person, which makes it easy to click on his videos to begin with. But he's also just like this hilariously, you know, curious but also lazy kind of person. He makes these videos that are like deep dives on things and like commentary on things. And I share a lot of his opinions. He's very, very good at kind of, again, articulating all of his feelings on the stuff that's like, I've tried making commentary videos and I'm just not very good at it. It's a lot harder than it looks. It is a lot harder than it looks, and you have to be very well versed on a topic to be able to comment on it very casually like that, and he does a good job. And also, he's just like uber, like, liberal, feminist. Like, he's just got all the right ideas, you know? So, like that guy. I like his videos. I think I binge watched like everything on his entire channel at one point. Yeah, I'm a big like Drew Gooden fan. He makes me laugh really hard. I love Carrie Dayton. I love her videos. She does body neutrality, mid to plus size, like try-ons and reviews of different brands and stuff. By the way, I'm just like pretending I'm still doing something on my eyes right now while I'm thinking. She is just so great. She's so freaking down to earth. I want to be her friend. She's great. Oh, and someone who doesn't put out enough videos, but every single time she does, I'm glued to them, is Nisi Pisa. She is so funny. She mainly now does window shopping videos because I think that they're everybody's favorite thing ever, but like she has always had skits, she has always had timing, she has a killer vernacular, she's got an amazing turn of phrase, and she just jokes about herself, but like in the best ways possible, and I really think she's truly a very, very brilliant, very, very funny person. So yeah, I mean, she started out with like the same amount of subscribers as I did at one point, and now she's like way over 100,000 because she's better than I am. Her content is better than mine. I have the Makeup by Mario highlighter here in Opal. This was a TED recommendation. He was like, hey, yo, why don't you own this? Favorite yoga pose? Oh man. Y'all, I love the yoga poses where you like either grab your toes or you stick your hands underneath your feet and just pull on your hamstrings all the way through your back, all the way through your neck. Whoa, those are the freaking best. I could stay in a forward fold all day. All day. I would never lose interest. Now, you know, do I have favorites that are like parlor tricks? Absolutely. You know, I can do a good headstand. I can do a mediocre bird of paradise. I can do crow to chaturanga and stuff. You know, I do think that like that kind of stuff is fun to have in your repertoire. And yoga's made me really strong. I went to the doctor for like just an annual checkup on Monday, and she was like, you know, do you exercise? And I was like, yeah, I do yoga like 3 times a week. And she's like, you should be doing cardio. And I was like, why? Like, why? Is that just something you tell everybody? Is that just really like boilerplate advice across the board? Because for me, cardio, I told her this, I said cardio is like associated with losing weight to me. And that's just something that is a topic I don't like to broach with myself, because it's something where I just start kind of, you know, getting myself in trouble. That's a little too icy for like the rest of my face, isn't it? Yeah. Oh no, the lighting. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Is it just me, or are my eyes still like boring? Something you hate since living in New Jersey. Wine doesn't ship here. We have the dumbest wine laws. They made this law a while back that like if you search it, everyone on the internet freaking is incensed about it, and it's some kind of weird thing that's fly by night, like past, you know, who knows how it got passed or how long ago. Yeah, so they have this law where you're only allowed to ship from like New Jersey wine cellars, which, no offense if your family owns a vineyard or something, but like gross. I didn't like Texas wine, I don't want New Jersey wine. You know, I'm very specific about my wine. I like to have I have to have organic wine. Just the idea that they're like, oh, if this wine cellar sells more than a certain amount every year, or like of bottles or whatever, like I was getting shipped from Wink, and then all of a sudden Wink just wasn't shipping to me anymore. And so I had 3 boxes of wine shipped to Ingrid, and she's going to bring them to me because screw them. I also got a new P.O. box that I haven't actually gone and done yet. I need to, like, I ordered it, but like I haven't gone and gotten my keys and stuff. And it's in Easton, Pennsylvania, because that's like the closest town in Pennsylvania, because I'm gonna try and get wine shipped there. That's how important it is to me. It's very annoying. And they do have some organic wines and wonderful wine and stuff like that at my liquor store, but they don't have all of them. And I like having, you know, a case of them. It's a lot less expensive. And, you know, I like to have like my rosé and stuff year round, and they don't sell rosé year round at the liquor store. And I'm sure I could ask them to, but I just don't want to. I just want to go back to how it was. Ship me my freaking wine. Jerks. New Jerksy. That was a good one, Khaki. Good one. So yeah, I would say I really, really love so much of it here. I love where we live. I'm so inspired by our surroundings. We have so much fun. Simon loves it here. We always have like wildlife and stuff, and the weather, I love the weather. But yeah, that wine thing, man. New Jersey needs to get their act together. Oh, I wish I could give you guys something exciting in this makeup look. It just feels very flat. It says least favorite baby toy, and I thought it said least favorite baby boy, and I was like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm going to do the blush mixing trick, because I need some luminosity here on my cheeks. So I'm going to mix the In Beauty face glaze with the one from the Rare Beauty. I think it fell on the ground. So least favorite baby toys are just basically like, nope, I have a specific one. I have a specific one. It is this little piano that my mother-in-law got that has a motion sensor in it. And so it'll be like, you know, 9 o'clock at night or something, and I'm just going to like, you know, clean up toys before we go to bed, and like and this thing detects me near it and goes, Rainbow-tastic! And I'm just like, just jump out of my skin at this stupid piano that has detected me near it. Absolutely not. There should not be motion detectors in children's toys. That's not okay. And it either says Rainbow-tastic or time to sparkle. I hate that toy, but he loves it. Okay, you know what? There is one product here that I have not used, that I've been avoiding using because it does tend to kind of overwhelm the situation, but I think it might be just the amount of excitement that we need right now. Oh guys, this is this Kimchi Chic Pearl Gone Wild, really insane wet look highlighter, but it shifts like galactic blue. So let's do it. I'm gonna use that to kind of like bridge here. Go onto the lid. Yeah, because I'm wearing a blue dress. It's a whole vibe, it's a whole mood. Rainbow-tastic. These are great questions, guys. What is your go-to Starbucks order? I'm about to blow your mind. Although this might be the most Aries thing in the world. I order a venti latte, and then they just like stare at me waiting for the rest of my order, and I'm like, that was it. Venti latte. It's like a big, tall, whole milk latte, exactly as it comes. The Lime Dragon asks, how do we even? That's a whole, that could be a whole channel. That could be an entire shelf of encyclopedias. You guys have some axes to grind. I didn't realize I kind of unlocked some frustration by saying, ask me literally anything. Somebody says, why do the bathroom stall doors always open into the stall? So that you don't kill someone? I know it's annoying, but like, you know, think about if it didn't. You opened it in a huff or in a hurry, as we often are in the bathroom, and you just whacked the hell out of somebody. It's probably a liability issue. Oh my God. This is some really, I'm getting very carried away here. Yeah. Yep, I don't know why more people don't talk about Kimchi CHIC. It is a lot of fun and it's very well priced. Not expensive stuff. I'm gonna put a little bit of that up here too. And I took it from normal princess to intergalactic princess. All right, let's try this new Maximus mascara. I just have a feeling there's something in my nose right now. Actually, since this is a regular mascara, I'm going to do my finishing spray first because I don't want it running all over my face. Again, apologies for the lighting, guys. I'm a Scorpio female. Why have virtually all of my female friends and women I follow been Aries? Interesting. Scorpios are very emotional, tend to be very emotional, and Aries are not typically. I am pretty emotional because I am a Cancer rising, but we tend to be pretty like decisive, matter-of-fact people. Also, Scorpio, it is a fixed sign and we are starters. So like maybe you're drawn to cardinal energy of just people who are more likely to kind of put a fire under your butt, basically. You know, you might get kind of like caught in your feelings a lot. And maybe you're just like attracted to the energy of people who are more decisive, more self-starting. And honestly, the one thing where there is like that crossover is you have in common with Aries sort of a selfishness. And a lot of people bristle at that word because they think that being selfish is a bad thing. I don't think being selfish is a bad thing. No one else is going to put you first. You gotta put you first. You have to be number one for yourself because everybody else is number one for themselves. They're not going to make you their number one priority, or they shouldn't. And so concentrating on that and having goals and being really motivated, you know, it's probably a sign that you like when people are really motivated. It's all about kind of how, what in the diddle you're trying to focus on in your life right now. I'm not going to touch that for the moment. This is really pretty though. This is my first time trying it. I obviously have no idea how it washes off, probably just like a regular mascara. But look at like the delicate, what would you say? The delicate chaos. Like I feel like it's like a very good organized chaos kind of look where it just like gives you the volume at the roots, spreads everything out, but it's not giving me like instant spider lashes or like losing control. Very pretty. I think that this could be quite the Hannah Louise Post-it mascara moment. Do a little bit of brow mousse. So here's, oh my gosh, Pistachio. I've said it before, I'll say it again. These milky glosses from Tower28 are the ultimate matches, formula-wise and color-wise, for my khaki lip liner. Little Kimiko moment. I'm trying to find some light that's actually not like horrible right now. As a clear brow gel goes, the Beauty Pie one is great. It's right up there with Kimiko. I just had only used it as like something I was trying to get a lot of hold out of. And it doesn't really do that necessarily. It is more like the Kimiko, where it's gonna give you that definition and like bring that natural look back to your eyebrows. And it's obviously a lot more affordable. Okay, wow, I'll be over here. This is just a whole vibe. I'm like loving this look. I love the little accent of like the blue from the Kimchi. The other thing about doing a full face of the drag queen owned brands is that they do tend to be quite draggy. And so I do want to mix them in with other things in my collection. If it were a whole face of just that, I would end up looking very exaggerated. That's sort of the whole point. Paint yourself for the back row, paint yourself for the check cashing place around the corner kind of thing. I'm glad that I bought these things from Kimchi, because it's cool to have those in my collection. I really do want to continue opening my mind to makeup that I didn't think was for me. You know, I'm like, oh, I look at that and I'm like, nah, that packaging doesn't seem like I'm their target customer, so I probably won't like it. Not necessarily, you know, like I could probably get into most things. just give them a whirl, you know? We're giving everything else a whirl. So yeah, that's the vibe today. Quick and dirty, before I completely lose my light here. Love the Tom Ford eyeshadow palette. I like it more than I like the other ones. I do. It's a little orange though. So if you're looking at it and you're like, ooh, what a nice little apricot. You saw the swatch against the Sunbeam shade from RMS, and it is a lot more orange and a lot less pink than that is. So if you're looking for something blushy, it's not as blushy as I would have thought. That's all. And so I do think that the RMS on top was a really good call. This is just unbelievable. This is so gorgeous. I mean, I knew it was going to be. This is such a layup for them, because it's like, I already loved this collection. This is like this beautiful cool tone soft pink that just like goes right with my complexion, doesn't it? I didn't really get to like say it that much, but this worked beautifully. The In Beauty project and the Rare Beauty, oh my gosh, worked great. And it brought life back to my face, where like, you know, my cheeks now have dew to them again, where the Kimchi Chic blush was quite matte, quite matte. This is really, really good. This is a glamorous mascara. It's so pretty, like really, really gorgeous, chunky volume, but like in a controlled way. I like it very much. It's super, super pretty. And the Kosas, my main thoughts on it are, if you have the NARS foundation, you do not need to buy the Kosas. If you have a shade in the Kosas, I would recommend the Kosas over it, probably just because I feel like it's a little bit dewier, a little bit more buildable, but I need to wear both of them longer, like next to each other, to see the skincare benefits one way or the other. And you know, that's such like a long-term thing, because the NARS is really kind to my skin. And so definitely take a look at the actives in each one, because I know that they both kind of have skincare claims, but the NARS skincare, the actual benefits that I've seen from it have been beautiful. And I've really, really enjoyed wearing it for that reason too. So yeah, not ideal over here, fam. Talk about natural light, guys. Everybody's always like, natural light, natural light. This is what happens in freaking natural light, okay? Not a huge fan of the Makeup by Mario highlighter. I don't know, it's okay, but it's like not enough pigment and a little bit too icy for me. Not loving that one. I think that that's it. I think that that's it today, guys. And I thank you for watching and for hanging out with me in these less than ideal, very artsy conditions here. Let me do this. Hi! What's up? Yeah, guys, I hope you liked this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I will have, like I said, a full review on the Kosas with like close-ups and everything like that, the new foundation, pretty soon, but I don't have my thoughts together on it quite yet, but I still wanted to just play. I wanted to play today, and I think that we did. I think that we accomplished something really lovely. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If it's my first video that you're watching and you had fun, maybe consider subscribing while you're here. We have a lot of fun here. Most of the videos are kind of like this, and thank you guys for sending in your great questions as always. Thank you guys for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh God, now I have to take a thumbnail in these conditions.